Welcome back to our social class. Today we are going to talk about weather and climate. So we'll start lesson number 5, weather and climate. Children, you have been studying since class 1 that what weather is and what seasons are. How do seasons change? This is also something we have already discussed in our previous chapters. Today in this chapter, we will discuss about the difference between weather and climate. We will also talk about various factors which influence climate, and one new thing which we are going to discuss about is the different heat zones of the earth, and those different heat zones, how do they affect the climate. So children, let's proceed. Let's first discuss in brief that what weather is. Weather is defined as the condition of air temperature, air pressure, wind, humidity and rainfall in the atmosphere at a given place and time. Weather changes every day, and these changes in weather conditions give rise to seasons. We enjoy various seasons in our country. Also, our lifestyle varies according to different seasons. Now, let's talk about climate. The weather conditions that prevail over a large area and for a long period of time is called climate. The climate of a place remains more or less the same year after year. Different parts of the world have different types of climate. So, on the basis of the prevailing climatic conditions, the world is divided into major climatic regions. Now, let's talk about some of the factors which influence climate. So, those factors are distance from the equator, height above the sea level or altitude, distance from the sea, direction of winds, humidity and rainfall. These are the factors which influence climate. Now, let's talk about these factors in detail. First is distance from the equator. So children, as you all know that our earth is spherical in shape, and when the sun rays fall on the earth, they do not fall evenly all through the earth. The rays of the sun fall on the surface of the earth near the equator. These rays are vertical and are spread over a small area. As we move away from the equator and towards the poles, the rays become slanting and cover a larger area. Thus, places near the equator receive more heat and they are hotter than the places away from the equator. Next is height above the sea level or altitude. We all know that the hill stations in India or outside India are mostly cool even in summers. Most peaks in the Himalayas also are covered with snow and ice even during summers. This shows that places located at higher altitudes are colder than those at lower altitudes. So, higher the altitude, colder the place will be. Distance from the sea. Places near the coast have a moderate climate. It is neither too hot nor too cold here. The sea is cooler than the land, and when it happens, the air over the sea is cooler than that over the land. This cool air is called the sea breeze. It blows from sea to land and makes the land cooler. And the places which are far away from the sea do not get sea breezes, so they are extremely hot in summer and very cold in winter. Such a climate is called extreme climate. Now, direction of winds. Winds blowing from hot regions increase the temperature of a place, while those blowing from cold regions decrease the temperature. So, the temperature of the place, the climatic condition of the place, so much depends upon the direction of the winds as well. Humidity and rainfall. Moisture or water vapor present in the air is called humidity. Humid air causes rainfall. Places near the equator are hot and humid and receive a lot of rainfall. And such kind of climatic condition is also known as the equatorial climatic condition. Heat zones. According to the sunlight received by the earth, it can be divided into different heat zones. So, earth is divided into majorly 3 heat zones. First is torrid zone, then temperate zone, and the last one is frigid zone. So children, the torrid zone or the tropical zone lies on the both sides of the equator, between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. The climate is hot and humid throughout the year because of the sun rays falling directly here on this zone. So, the places falling in this zone near the equator above and below receive and experience equatorial climate. Now, second is temperate zone. The areas lying between the torrid zone and the frigid zone in both the hemispheres called the temperate zone. This is called the temperate zone because it is neither very hot nor very cold. The zones are away from the equator and also away from the poles. This is the reason why they are not very hot and not very cold. Next is frigid zone. The areas lying between the Arctic Circle and the North Pole in the northern hemisphere and between the Antarctic Circle and the South Pole in the southern hemisphere are the frigid zones. This zone receives slanting rays of the sun and they remain very cold throughout the year. That's why they are known as the frigid zone. And especially the area near the poles, they are completely frozen throughout the year. So children, this was all for today for this chapter and our topic. I hope you all have understood it well. Now you all have to do the exercises given at the back of your chapter in their content book and read the chapter thoroughly. Till our next video, goodbye.